Western Canada's largest rental property company says it has been hit with a cybersecurity breach. In a letter to tenants, Main Street Equity Cooperation says a third party gained access to private information on May 21st. It says while there is no evidence of personal information being used for fraud, tenants will be given a complimentary 12-month subscription to Equifax to help protect against identity theft. Let's now invite Claudiu Popa, certified security and privacy expert and author of the Canadian Cyber Fraud Handbook. Good evening and thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
My pleasure, Akshay.
So, Claudiu, thinking of cybersecurity breaches, a few that come to my mind recently were the one at London Drugs. Before that, we had something happening at Ticketmaster. Now we're discussing, of course, this firm. My question is, why are these breaches happening so regularly?
The reason they're happening is because organizations have hundreds of places that they have to secure. Any IT systems have multitudes of vulnerabilities, and criminals only need to find one to break in. So the good guys, the defenders, have their work cut out for them, while criminals can simply rely on bots and programs like crawlers that will scour the internet, automatically look for vulnerabilities, find them, sometimes infect the system, and then call home and ask the criminals, hey, come in here now and finish the job. So there's a deep and stark imbalance between the efforts that good guys have to put out versus the criminal element. And that's why you see a lot of organized crime making off with hundreds of millions of dollars on an annual basis.
So are you saying that solely the responsibility and the accountability lies on the company that is being attacked by these cyber criminals?
Almost exclusively. So by law and ethically speaking, companies are responsible for protecting the information that they collect from individuals. This information is not theirs. They do not own it. They borrow it for the purpose of being in business. And so they are not only responsible for protecting all of that data, which, by the way, represents identity information. It's the most sensitive information that we have, but also the legal accountability and the liability for it.
So if clients, customers want, they can go ahead and sue these companies in courts for the breach that is actually taking place. So let's talk about this particular case where the company is now saying that they don't think that there is any evidence of personal information being accessed. So how can a company be so sure in this case, Claudia, that the tenant's information has not been leaked?
Both philosophically and practically, this is not possible. Everybody knows that you can't prove a negative. And certainly you can't make a statement like, your data is in the hands of criminals, but don't worry, we checked, the criminals haven't done anything bad with it. That's not a statement that can be taken seriously by anyone except regulators. And I suspect that the privacy commissioners will look over this case with interest and perhaps some dismay, because this is one of the more disappointing letters that I've seen.
Okay, one of the most disappointing letters. So let me ask you, because nowadays we have to sign into almost everything, signing into hundreds of accounts, agencies, companies, otherwise you really can't operate, simply put. So what would you advise to people? Because they are dealing with so many stakeholders, as I said. What would you suggest?
People need to be much more sensitive to the information that they share. Whenever possible, share pseudonymous information. That means use a pseudonym, use a nickname if you can. In cases like this one, you can't. In cases where you have to share sensitive financial information, you actually have to use your home address, your date of birth, your actual name, and so on. So in many cases, you're stuck. And in cases like these, it's not just the tenant's information, but the guarantor's information as well. Right. So that's one degree of separation away from their customer base to whom and to which they had responsibility to not just protect the data, but notify them as soon as they discovered any chance of a breach. And unfortunately, the notification came 3 months later.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, we'll leave it at that for the moment. Claudiu Popa, appreciate your insights. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.